Stay in control of your own mind, and you will never be controlled by the mind of another. Now, that's kind of paraphrasing a little bit the quote from Napoleon Hill. A lot of folks come to YouTube looking for help, looking for ideas, something to give them an edge for when the lights go out, for when the power goes away and things start to get really bad really fast. Well, we're in the early stages of that right now. Florida Maquis, you just talk about psychological operations. How does that really help me? Well, to put it bluntly, I don't care how many beans you have stored in your basement. I don't care how good you are with a rifle, how many rounds you have stored, how many rifles you own. I don't care how wonderful of a planner you are. If you lose control of your mind and you start operating emotionally, somebody's going to come take all of that away from you eventually. Staying in control of your own mind and not letting others get inside it, that's going to be job number one. Nothing else matters until you do that. Who remembers the line from Predator, long time ago, the original one from back in 87, when they got dropped into Central America, and Jesse Ventura, the character here, says, "This shit something makes Cambodia look like Kansas." Now, I haven't been able to find a meme with the next line, but the next line he says is, "You lose it in here, you're in a world of hurt." Well, folks, that's where we're at right now. We're heading for the wilderness. We're heading for the jungle. Now is not the time to be operating in a state of emotion. We need to stay in control of our minds, and that's why I have a Patreon channel talking about this. Why is it a Patreon channel and not here? Well, in today's video here, we're going to talk about 3 different examples with kind of the PG-13 censored gloves on, because we have to on YouTube, but we're starting a brand new group of videos that are going to talk about survival, staying in control of your mind, and the 3 examples we use today in this video, we're going to do a video over at Patreon where we take the gloves off a little more and we expound on the ideas. The 3 examples I'm going to give you today are going to blow your mind, because they're things that you're already comfortable with, things that you've read in the headlines and the news and that you've just accepted as truth that are full of lies. Let me say this again. There are things right now that you accept as truth based on what I see in the comment section, based on what I see in other videos, that it's just accepted truth, and it's full of lies. But nobody sees it. That's what we're going to cover. If you'd like to join us at Patreon, real quick, only $1 per month, even less if you sign up for a whole year. You get a 10% discount, fully refundable first 90 days, no questions asked. We partner with Vimeo over there, keep Google's prying eyes away from what we're talking about. It's going to be critical that people have the ability to look and see and hear things and understand the truth of what's being said. PsyOps 101. Now, let's start here. Here's example number 1. How many saw this from a few days ago? 100 people rush the southern border. I believe this is the El Paso or Tucson crossing. I forget which one. And they try to use the force of numbers to get in. Florida Maquis, don't you know military age, single military age men are the vast majority of what's coming over, and they're going to come over here and they're going to... Now think about what you just said for 1 minute. Single, adjective. Military age, adjective. Men. All descriptors. Descriptors designed to make you think something. That there's some, that they would be the chief and highest order of threat. Right? Because if they were married, military age men, okay, well that's not as bad, I guess. Married, middle-aged men. Okay, well that's I guess they're not as much of a married, middle-aged women. Oh, there's no threat there. Really? No threat whatsoever. That's interesting, because as we know, women, middle-aged women, can't shoot, can they? They're no threat with a ballistic weapon whatsoever, are they? I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with these pictures. This is a collage of the Patriot nurse, right from her Instagram. Nothing personal. Something available to everyone. She's very, very, very good with a ballistic weapon. Is she a single military-aged male? No. Absolutely not. In fact, neither is Jennifer Veterans for Truth. She's got 3 kids. In fact, she's married, middle-aged, female. So clearly no threat, right? Clearly no threat. Tell you what, you give me a choice. You give me 2 choices where I have to either draw a name out of a random hat of these single military-age guys coming across the border and get in a one-on-one firefight with them versus Jennifer Veterans for Truth or the Patriot Nurse. I'll take my chances drawing the name out of the hat. But wait, they're not single, they're not military-aged, and they're not men. Yet they're a far greater, order of magnitude, greater threat to you in that type of a situation than random Panfilo here on the left. Do you see the psyop now? As if single matters. Married or single matters. As if military age matters when it comes to the things that we fear. Why does military age, what are they talking about, 18 to 30? As if, what, even men over 30? Men over 40? Men over 50? That are no threat? And that men, well, it's men, not women. As if women can't pick up a weapon. And believe you me, folks, that's not going to be the biggest threat coming across the border. Trust me on this. You see, nobody's talking about the single military-aged women and what they might be able, and the damage they might be able to do here in North America. Notice nobody ever was screaming about that. Where are all the female YouTubers screaming about the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of single, I guess, what would you say, childbearing age females? You don't see that on headlines, do you? Do you ever think about that for 1 second? Now, here's option number 2. Florida Monkey, didn't you see the Red�Star�Tanks? Red�Star�Tanks. Oh, look, did you see that one? The guy said that he was driving along and he saw all these Red�Star�Tanks. Red�Star�Tanks. He saw tanks somewhere on trains or somewhere, no video, but Red�Star�Tanks. Okay. When they also start seeing RedStar fuel trucks and RedStar water trucks and RedStar giant C5 Galaxy size planes coming in with RedStar goods and RedStar setting up RedStar chow halls and putting together all of the logistics lines that need to exist before tanks can even operate, then I'll be worried. See what they did there? Red�Star�Tanks. Look, okay. Is there a RedStar fuel truck? Are there RedStar barracks? Are there RedStar? I mean, all of the things that need to be put in place for tanks to operate need to get put in place before the tank can operate. Otherwise, it's just going to be a giant rusting hulk out in the desert very soon. They burn through fuel very, very quickly. Do you think they all carry around all of their own ammunition inside the tank? No. They can't because of the heat. Be a safety hazard. And they can't operate indefinitely. This is what happens when you have the video game generation talking about news. You see, this was the bigger threat. And earlier today, Patriot Nurse put up a premiere talking about the church is dying, what's next for the United States. And basically it's this idea of when you don't have this moral underpinning, when you don't have, that's not taught in the schools and that's not part of society, that it's taught at the home level and the church level, that's ingrained. Once that goes away, nothing else matters. You see, I'm not all that bothered about the whole drag queen story time thing because I remember when I was a kid, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter what happened at school. I believed my mom. I believed my dad. I believed in the values that they instilled in me. I didn't learn values at school. I reflected the values that I was taught at home at school. If these kids are a value vacuum, I guess would be the only way to properly describe that, and they're attempting to ascertain what values should be by going to school, the war was lost at home a long time ago, and it's not going to matter. Now, this one's a little bit more lighthearted, but it's something that you would need to have the ability to control your mind to really see. How many of you heard the song Jolene? It's a song's been around for a long time. Dolly Parton, guys, when they look at Dolly Parton, they immediately kick out of their thinking brains and kick over into their emotional brains just because how she looks physically. But that particular dynamic allowed her to record a song I don't think anybody else could have gotten away with. Like, Florida Marquis, what are you talking about? I've listened to that song a million times. Think about it critically. What are they talking about? You got girl A on the right who has a man in her life. And apparently said man in her life is already in the state of cheating, or has already cheated with, or is thinking about cheating, or wants to cheat with some other girl, girl B, Jolene. And so instead of confronting the guy about the issue and saying, make a choice, tell me what's going on, she goes after the girl. Now, think if this were two guys. Think instead of it was Jolene, what if it was just Joe? Joseph, maybe. And you know what would happen? It would have never been allowed why? Because they would have been seeing the woman as property to be decided upon. Well, I'm going to take her. You going to take her? Who's going to take her? Let's see. Well, you could take her from me if you wanted to, but hello, does she have any say in this? In this particular case, because it's two women over a guy, does he have a say in it? You see, this is the ridiculousness of this. This is just Jolene on steroids. This is just Jolene on steroids. This smorgasbord idea, this is a shot from The Bachelor. This smorgasbord idea of dating, but in the song, there's the song, he talks about you in his sleep, so ergo they're sleeping together. If you want to see somebody who actually got that right, who got that whole dynamic right from a thought-based perspective, go listen to Leanne Womack's The Fool from 1998. It's basically the exact same story, but how somebody who was thinking would have reacted to it, as opposed to somebody who is feeling. You see, men and women aren't property. We don't own each other. There used to be a time when women were property, that's true. But not in recent history, and not in this particular case. I know this seems like I'm nitpicking here, but listen to the song The Fool by Leanne Womack versus Jolene by Dolly Parton, and you will see this huge difference. And especially, you would think one would be older than the other. You would think The Fool would be older than Jolene, but Jolene was written way, way, way a long time ago. And the only reason it was gotten away with by Dolly Parton was because she looks like Dolly Parton, and let's just leave it there. So, anyway, check out this video premiere earlier. The Church is Dying, What's Next for the United States from the Patriot Nurse. Really great info here. Here's the real big threat coming across the border. It's not the military-aged men. It's the childbearing year-aged women that are going to do the huge amount of financial damage that they're already doing. They're already doing it. And as far as Red�Star�Tanks go, this was an easy one to knock out of the park that I've never heard anybody say, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How can there be Red�Star�Tanks? Where's all the logistics? Where's all the military guys? Where are all the military guys that love to yammer online about how good they are with ballistic weapons and all this kind of stuff? You telling me you never knew anybody who was in a tank battalion? and all the crap that went along with going out and deploying with tanks? And nobody said a word about this? Nobody. Nobody said a word about this. Like these tanks are going to run on what? Magical dreams and wishes? And the people inside that are driving them are going to what? Eat Star Trek rations? Or, I mean, seriously. Trust me, and I'll say it again. If you gave me a choice between having to get into a one-on-one firefight versus Patriot Nurse, Jennifer Veterans for Truth, or some random dude coming across the border, I don't care if he's military age or not, I'm picking him. I'm picking him all day long. Jennifer Veterans for Truth is the primary security force for her kids. Her husband works on rigs all the time, and so she's home alone a lot. And Patriot Nurse trains people to use weapons. There's no way I'd want to get in a firefight with either one of them, but neither one of them, once again, are military age. Neither one of them are male. And I know one of them's married. I don't know about the other one. Don't really care. It's not really the point. Do you see the PSYOP now? Do you see the PSYOP now? I'll leave it there. Once again, join us over at Patreon. This is what PSYOPs is all about. It's only $1 US. That's just to keep the trolls away so we can focus on the training. The $1 is just a speed bump, paywall speed bump to keep the trolls out so that we can focus on the training and we don't let the comment section over there get hijacked by a bunch of nonsense and bots and all that stuff. So anyway, God bless. Have a great week. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.